Hey, what's going on YouTube? In the salon on a Monday, but I come across an issue that we're talking about at the moment: shampooing and the importance of using the proper kind of shampoos. Um,
Yes.
my girl was telling me some of the issues that she was having, and I will let her re-elaborate more in her own detail of what was happening. So you can go ahead.
Well, it took a while to really understand what was going on. Every time I would get my locks washed, they were like becoming like thinner and frail. And I didn't understand it at first. I was like, okay, maybe it was the way it was locked, what's going on. But I never had this issue before. And probably after the third time um, of having my hair washed, it was like, ding, it's something dealing with the shampoo, the conditioner, something. Something is not right.
And I
And I
totally
have
agree.
a head full of hair, so there is no reason
Yeah, and I'm
why
looking
it
at the
should be stripped.
ones that now are that are also broken.
Right.
Now, let me tell you where I can see one where the stylist fell off. One, as your hair is bleached, it is lifted.
Right.
So some of the cuticle layers in your hair has been broken, which is not a negative thing. That just
Right.
means a certain shampoo needs to be used
Right.
in a certain way. You just cannot use, and which I've learned that so many people have been using just VO5s or
Hmm.
Suave, something you could get off the shelf just because it costs $1 or two, and that's not helping.
Right.
Now, what I can see is you have a very straight kind of texture of hair, which is good, but bleaching in the way that I'm sure that you have been
It's
bleaching
thinner.
it, that
Yeah.
takes away from it. Then you got a drying shampoo that'll
Hmm.
take away from it, and so then whoever was completing after that use a product that make these hairs hard and
Hmm.
frizzy and very, very, very fragile. So what we're going to do at this point is I'm going to give you a highly protein moisturizing, excuse me, shampoo, and I'm trying to build
Okay.
these hairs up as much as I can.
Okay.
That's what's necessary right now to bring these back into play. What a lot of people don't realize, V, is that with
Hmm.
shampooing, that's the most important part of styling.
Right.
They just put some shampoos in there and they say, "Oh, it feel clean, girl. Let's go style."
Right.
No, you need to restore moisturization. You have to help those cuticle layers come back. You
Hmm.
have to help with protective layers into those hair. That's why you have so many different shampoos that have so many different things. Now,
Hmm.
what I do love is, although I still go through your locks and see that you have broken ends,
Hmm.
it didn't affect your foundation.
Right. That
So
was. Whew,
that's the
that
good
was a
thing.
big
You caught
issue.
it just in time, but I
Right.
can run my fingers through these and like I'll get caught in
Right.
certain areas because of the dryness and the way those little hairs are like climbing together.
Right.
But I can promise you this,
Hmm.
you are not in a bad position.
Okay.
You started out and it could have gotten bad, but
Yeah.
because you caught it and you were ready to change it.
Yeah. I wish
It
I would have caught it sooner, but it took a minute to like. It was like physics. Every time I got my hair done, I was
Oh,
like,
I
what
agree.
is going on?
I definitely agree that a lot of people do not realize how balancing and understanding physics and the law of your hair, your skin, and
Right.
all of that, it does matter. It matters so much. And the great thing is, they did the harsh part better than they did the easier part. They bleached your hair, and your hair came out so much better with the bleaching than they did with the shampoo. And that shouldn't have been the easier part because they give you the shampoos to use. That's
There you
deep.
go.
But at the same time, it's all good. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna shampoo you now, and I'm gonna do a really good deep conditioner on you to restore a lot of those good moisturization levels that is highly needed, so your hair doesn't feel so clammy right now.
Okay.
Um, a lot of people do not know this, but sleeping on this kind of hair will break it. Like you'll wake up in the morning and it'll be all over the pillow. It'll be everywhere. But
Hmm.
and that's just mere sleeping on that hair. So I'll shampoo and I'll get back to you guys in just a second. YouTube, and the stage we're at now, we just conditioned her, in which I used my Stimulation Super Moisturizer Conditioner by Design Essentials. Um, and we went through and we set this in now, which is a very vital key. Before I even did my super moisturizing shampoo and conditioner, I had to go through and actually start breaking pieces apart and doing different things because they were so dry and they were sticking together. So right now I'm letting this sit through, and you can see that that whole hair texture looks so different. I brought out a wave pattern. It's curly. As I run my fingers through it, it's a lot more versatile, and it's more like hair again versus just stiff pieces of, just weighted down stuff that we were working with earlier. My thing at this point is to revitalize the hairs and to their maximum ability. Beforehand, the person just threw on a bleach and went back and just shampooed the hair. Now, yes, to some people that's common sense and that would be a normal procedure, but to someone in the hair industry on the cosmetologist level, that's horrible. That was one of the worst things you could have done. I'm not saying that on a negative behalf. I'm saying that so I can educate you and you can learn that at your shampoo bowl is one of the most important places your clients will visit you in your salon, in your establishment, wherever you are. Your shampoos are highly, highly important. If you're just spending $5 on them, please stop. I do understand you're trying to be cost effective, but it's not going to work for you in the long run. You are your clientele. Those people are going to leave and they will not be back, and you will have a bad reputation. And that may be one of the things you may have not set out to do to yourself, but over time it's going to happen. So not good. So again, we put the conditioner on here now, and I made sure that I saturated all areas. I'm going back and just making sure by filling through that everywhere is properly saturated enough to where she is good, and we can rinse this out. I don't even have to leave this in good enough. I'm sure at this point her scalp is cold and tingling because that's how good and well that product works. It gets in there, so it's breaking things down, building things back up, putting back in things that are highly, highly, highly needed for the scalp. So make sure that you are using decent products, decent solutions, and you'll be good. Look, you have Sarah putting up her products right now. Hey, Sarah.
Hey.
She another for YouTube. But she's another Monday worker getting in here and making something happen. But again, now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and rinse her out and go on to the next step. And by her hair being thinner and a little brittle at this step, that's where the sprays will come in and work very, very well, because I'm going to have to use a putty or a honey or any of those things just to hold her hair and plaster it down. At this point, we need to remind the hair that it has a versatility, that it has levels of longevity, and it has different things in it so that it will be open to doing different things. Just putting like certain things in there to bring out a hole, once you start to move these things or try to divert a different style, you can break those hairs, and that's one of the things a lot of people don't know. So plastering those locks just back this way, and you're tired of that ponytail, even just changing it and making a middle part and spreading it, that can change the hairs, that can break the hairs, that can do different things to them. So let's go with more of a looser product that allows the hair to be itself. Yes, it's a dreadlock, but it's not a stiff lock, and it's not a piece of stick, or it's nothing that I made out of a hard, unruly material. So I'm gonna rinse her out now. I didn't realize the shampoo could take so much out of it. I've been trying to catch my breath the whole time. Damn. Anyway, I'm gonna rinse this out, and we're gonna move on to the next step so you guys can see one of the main important things of important places of a lock. And look, let me show you something. You see this right here, where her locks have a little bit of life, no life to them, they're just hanging limp. That has been robbed. Like you just take your locks and you put all kind of stuff in there, and you just rob them of life and everything. Should be no reason why her locks should just be limp like this, but in time they will build back up, I promise. So just make sure that you use the right stuff. We transition from the bowl back into the room, in which again I'm gonna show you a little closer view of what my girl V's head is looking like now versus what we were. And you can see that she has a very definite curl texture and type. I really don't use those 4Bs and 4Cs and all of that stuff, because some people don't know what I'm saying and what I'm talking about. So I just kind of go with more of what layman's terms of what people I know, like straight curly, straight wavy. And I'll show you more. Like if I bunch this up, you'll see that is a wave pattern looking like one of those crinkle fries we used to eat when we was little. So yeah, you see that, but that also tells me that there's a wave pattern to it, because it cannot be wavy without being curly. So what we're doing is We're going to give her a maintenance, and because these ends are thinner, we're going to give her a pin-up hairstyle, but we're not going to put much weight on this. We'll put more weight on her base, because her bases, are still black. That tells me that that's the stronger parts of her hair. None of this hair has been touched by anything yet besides shampoos and conditioners, so it's not really broken down. So we're going to put more of the stability and strength and weight on that part right now. Build back up this bottom piece, and make sure that as time goes on, she doesn't wake up and have anybody or nothing laying next to her. I'm sure that's one of the things we as people do not want. Now, she came out with a color in which she said she didn't like, but as I stand back, it got a nice little fade to it. It's reversed. Where normal people will get dark to light, she got light to dark. I think she can make it work. I think we can make a style to make this look nasty. You hear that? Somebody is always text messaging. To me, I'd be like, dang, just call me. But anyway, we're going to do this maintenance up real fast. You know what I mean? It take about 15-20 minutes. And so I'm going to show you right when we put her under this dryer and coming from there. So just keep up with my girl so we can be rebuilt to healthiness. And then we finally finished this whole process. We just took her from under the dryer, and you can see that those roots look totally different at this point. They are not ramshafted or just stuck. She doesn't have that hardness on top of the base of the lock like she was having in the beginning. So what we did is we just put a good portion of oil and moisturization back into the hair, in which you can see it has a good nice natural shine all the way through. I haven't even sprayed it with oil or anything yet, and it's just in its natural zone at this point, which is good because there's a whole rejuvenation needs to be done at this time. But just wanted to show you the importance of shampooing and moisturization into the scalp, making sure that you put these things in at the shampoo bowl so you do not have any situation, especially for you that are bleaching and coloring and lifting and doing a bunch of stuff. So make sure that you have found your proper balance so that you won't have to go and go from all of this to short locks like this. You shouldn't have to. So this is just the beginning. We're going to start a revolution, people, changing these shampoos and different things. So let's work with me.